Hello, everybody. Right now, I'd like to talk to you about an NBC article and the DNC's response to it. Specifically, Robin Kelly's response to it and why she does not need to be senator. There's been a couple things in the news lately that there's a woman in Texas and a woman in Indiana that were denied health care coverage while they were in labor. One was actually discharged from the hospital, and then the other lady, they eventually let her in, but they played games with her. It's more complicated than that. That's why I'm going to post the article in the description. But what happened is what I'm talking about is the response to it. There's a Congresswoman in the House of Representatives by the name of Robin Kelly. She saw this and thought, well, I'm going to introduce some legislation, and did. It's called the Wells Act. The Wells Act is a bunch of compromised garbage, and I'll tell you why. The Wells Act basically makes it so that if a woman in labor gets discharged from the hospital, she needs, and I quote, a safe discharge plan. So yes, a woman in labor needs a safe discharge plan. Me, I'm crazy. I think the woman just needs her baby delivered safely. That's just me, though. And there's also some sensitivity training that thrown in the medical sector that she's willing to throw in there. And a bunch of other useless crap. Dick Durbin, who is actually retiring from the Senate starting next year, is going to have a seat that is up for grabs. Robin Kelly wants that seat. She was also using this article as a way to promote herself. Unfortunately, she didn't really say anything. She took advantage of the situation and the outrage, got it turned into an article with her name on it, and all she really did is defend the status quo. So adding sensitivity training and putting some worded language like safe discharge plan on somebody that already has a medical condition called labor is absolutely useless. And this is why that the moderates are absolutely useless in everyday life. We need universal health care. Now, I don't care if it's Medicare for all. I don't care if we do what they do in like Switzerland and do mandatory coverage and subsidize insurance companies. I actually don't care one way or another. Whatever's best for us is fine. I think England's they have the NHS that is a government, and then they subcontract everybody. Whatever. We'll deal with it. We spend more money on healthcare than anyone in the world, and we get nothing out of it. That's literally insurance and pharmaceutical companies doing it with politicians enabling it. What should have been Representative Robin Kelly's response? Her response should have been nothing, because she does not really have a value system and is so brain dead and out of touch and does not realize how silly she's sounding that she probably looked at that article and thought she did a really good job. What we need to do is we need to do what every other developed nation has and have universal health care. And what we don't need is a 69-year-old woman who will be 76 when her term's coming up, proposing things like a safe discharge plan to women in labor. We need universal health care, and we need garbage like this that's demonstrated in the article just to not exist, period. If the woman, and you can find her name if you read the article, I don't want to use her name, but if that woman was covered, already had insurance, and it was already covered, the chances of that happening would be down significantly. So one of the reasons we find it really hard to get a lot of working class, especially working class white people, but not just, to vote for progressives. It's because they'll say something like, well, the Democrats aren't going to really do that much, or they're not going to do anything in return. And when you're actually looking at a proposition by Robin Kelly, the Wells Act, you realize it's just a bunch of moving around the edges. It's just inching around everything because you don't want to upset the old oligarchs. In other words, with people like Robin Kelly out there, it's going to be really hard to win elections. We cannot let her win the Senate seat. And we have to actually change the status quo that people like the women that were in labor in these articles are taken care of and already have health insurance.